Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Peter here. Today's video is very casual, just first impressions really. I've just been looking in my drawer where I keep my samples, and it's gonna take me forever to even decide what I want to review. I've got that many, so I thought what I'm gonna start doing is little first impression videos, just to get through some of the samples and give an impression on generally if I like them. Basically, just to kind of get through the drawer that I have, and then you can let me know in the comments which ones you might like me to review, and then I can kind of gauge it that way, you know, on what you guys want to see me review in the future by doing these little first impressions and you telling me which ones you're more interested in. So, Parfums de Mali, and I've got 4 to go through, and the first one is called Meliora. I believe this one is marketed to women, hence the white packet and the quite nice photo on the inside. Parfums de Mali, an elegant and refined fragrance company, a truly original concept to revive the splendour of the 18th century, when the finest perfumes were created for Louis XV, in tribute to the prestigious horse races he fervently admired and initiated. Meliora, named after the renowned Alsacian mare, is embodied through this delicate raspberry rose note leading to vanilla musk. So, sounds interesting. So we've got raspberry rose and vanilla musk. It sounds quite nice. Wow, okay. Definitely get the raspberry. It's quite jammy. It's not ridiculously sweet. Okay, now I'm smelling the rose. The rose doesn't feel like a dark rose, it's like fresher, lighter kind of a rose. Okay, well, initially it kind of... I like it, but Okay, initially it reminds me a little bit of something like Andy Towers' Rose Flash, I think it was called, with kind of a very jammy rose. It reminds me a little bit of one by Henley, which has a similar kind of fruity rose. So I don't think the idea is particularly original or unique, but the smell is nice. It's interesting, you do have the jammy kind of raspberry, you've got the very feminine, pretty kind of rose in there mixing with it, but there's also a freshness. Like, it almost smells soapy, just a hint of it. Either soapy or maybe even like shampoo, like it just smells like a refreshing, cleaning kind of... Yeah, maybe. This could be a really, really good smelling shampoo, and I don't mean that in a bad way, I think it smells good, but there's just something in it that smells soapy or clean like that. Like a very fruity, floral soap or shampoo. I actually like it, I think it smells good. I would enjoy smelling that on a woman. Now it's been on the card for a few minutes, it feels like maybe there's a little bit of a candy floss vibe, like strawberry candy floss, which smells a little bit like ethyl maltol. I'm getting vibes of that. I still think it smells good though. So maybe if you're a fan of Rouge 540 by Francis Christian, you might also like Meliora. It's quite nice. The rose, raspberry, a little bit of candy floss kind of sugary vibe. Quite sweet, but it's not too sickly or cloying from a first impression. So yeah, I like that one for a woman. Next up is Athalia. Athalia. Sorry if my pronunciation is way off. Seductive and attractive, this feminine perfume is one that is perfect dab regardless of the occasion. So, sensual opening of rose orange bitter, followed by a bouquet of iris, orange blossom, and a base of amber and vanilla and vetiver. Okay, so I'll show you the image on the inside of the pack. Okay, my immediate first impression is that it smells old-fashioned. There's a powderiness to the fragrance. get a sweetness and a powderiness. Okay, so I think you get the, obviously you get the iris because it smells powdery. You get a little bit of the rose. I think you do get a little bit of the orange blossom. This one's not knocking my socks off. I'm not finding myself attracted to this one. Let me just wipe a little bit on my skin. It smells a little bit old-fashioned to me. It smells very mature, more for an older woman. But it's nice, it's not unpleasant. It's just definitely a floral powder fragrance. I'm just getting kind of vibes of an old powder pad, very kind of old-fashioned. Not my taste. It does smell quite perfumey, if you know what I mean by that. It is very perfumey. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it. It's powdery and floral and perfumey. This is kind of what it smells like when you go into a department store that's filled with candles and potpourri and all these kind of feminine bath products and soaps and that kind of mix in the air of everything that's very perfumey. This is what this kind of smells like to me. No, I'm not keen on that one. I think you can get a lot better personally. I'm not attracted to that. It doesn't smell unique, or not that that's a bad thing. I don't know, I'm just not attracted to that one. It feels a little bit, like I say, like walking into a department store that's filled with potpourri and soaps and candles and perfumes, and it's just kind of that hazy kind of smell in the air of perfumey smell. So next up is, I guess this has worked out well because we've had 2 feminine fragrances there, now we've got 2 masculine fragrances. Next is Layton, which is aimed towards more the men. Let's see, named after one of the more prolific line in the thoroughbred history, Layton boasts top notes of mandarin, apple, lavender, and moves on to a floral combination of violet, jasmine, and geranium. Base notes of guaiac wood, patchouli, sandalwood, cardamom, vanilla, and pepper. Okie dokie. Layton brings out an elegant signature, and the image for the packet is a man in a nice suit spraying himself with Layton, with an elegant woman in a dress watching behind the corner. Well, first of all, I got a freshness, almost fruity in a way, or jammy. God, it's quite sweet. There's a definite big hit of sweetness. I definitely get the lavender. It's almost like it's a weird combination. It smells a little bit like a barbershop lavender fragrance, but mixed with this very, very sweet. No, I don't know how to describe the sweetness. It smells very designer to me, like a designer fragrance. Like a creamy, it's like a creamy sweetness, almost like, God, like a Marni Code or a Marni Code Profumo, those kind of very thick, tonkery, vanilla-y, sweet, creamy kind of things. In a similar kind of ballpark vein to that. It smells very designer. It's too sweet, in my opinion. It's annoying. It's that same kind of dark, rubbery, synthetically cloying sweetness that I smell in a ton of designer fragrances. One that's springing to mind is Marc Jacobs Decadence in the green purse bag. That has a very similar kind of sickly, cloying, syrupy sweetness that's reminding me, or when I'm smelling this, it's reminding me of that. This doesn't smell like a niche perfume to me. It smells very synthetic and designerish, and following the sweet trend of everything being just very sweet. But it's weird that it's mixing with a kind of almost like a barbershop kind of style fragrance combined with this sweetness, because you definitely smell the lavender, but the way it combines just almost smells like shaving foam, but mixed with this very overwhelming sweetness that's just wrapping it all up. Very creamy kind of a sweetness. Unusual mix, and I don't like that. For me, it's too sweet. I don't know how it dries down. From the opening, I don't like it, and it smells like a designer fragrance to me. Okay, the last one I have actually briefly mentioned in a couple of videos is Byerley. This I quite like, but it's too mature for me. It's definitely for an older gentleman. It starts off with a little bit of citrus in the opening. It's basically, this is a vetiver and a woody fragrance. There's a little bit of spice. There's a little bit of cardamom, which is like a cooling spice that you get in the introduction of the fragrance. It's kind of like a spicy, woody, masculine fragrance dressed up for winter, but ultimately a little bit mature. I would say over the age of 35, 40 plus. Unless you're a very grounded dude that has a really good job, dresses smartly, is very mature for his age. This does feel more mature. But it's nice, I like it. It's just too mature for me personally to pull off. It smells like a businessman to me. It's a spicy, woody fragrance for citrus top, but I like the vetiver notes, and I think there's gaiac wood in there. It's woody, vetivery, a little bit spicy. Worth checking out, I think, if you want a smart, dressed up kind of masculine fragrance. That's worth having a look at, I think. That's it. I liked Meliora. Let's go back to it quickly. I'm definitely imagining shampoo. Even more, it smells like shampoo, but not in a bad way. I actually like it. It smells like a sweet rose floral shampoo. It smells good. It's pretty. I would like to smell that on a woman. But it has a cleanness to it. Like I say, it reminds me of shampoo. But the raspberry rose thing is quite nice. I like that. Going back to Athalia, it reminds me a little bit of Valentino for women, Valentino Donna. That one again is iris and rose. So it has a little bit of a vibe of the same thing. I would say this is more powdery, whereas the Valentino Donna is more cosmetic-y, lipsticky, more than this. This is more of a powder pad. But I guess maybe smells a little bit more designerish as well, not particularly super niche, but a little bit old-fashioned and perfumey, like I said. Go back to Layton quickly. There's something slightly dirty in the background of that. I guess I'm just reading the notes now. I guess I remember saying that it was fruity in the opening, and there is mandarin and apple written down, so I guess that's what I was smelling in the opening, this kind of fruitiness. Then the lavender and sandalwood and vanilla is listed in the dry down. So I guess that's what you're smelling, this vanilla accord mixed with the sandalwood. It is a very creamy and too sweet for me. I don't enjoy that personally. That's it. That's my first impressions. If you want me to review a specific one, let me know in the comments and I will put that aside, and that will be into my future review pile. Next up, not in this video, in the next video, I'm going to do first impressions from Francis Kurkdjian. So I hope you like this idea of me going through my samples and for you to pick what I should review next. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.